This presentation is designed to help you, the entrepreneur, prepare to share your business quickly. A full presentation of your business will take about 10 minutes, but you can and should prepare condensed versions. For example, a 5-minute version, a 2-minute version, and a 30-second elevator pitch. The reason we call it an elevator pitch is this is something you could present to someone very rapidly as you ascend an elevator. The way you prepare these various versions is by first preparing the full 10-minute version and then by going back and saying, what could I cut out without cutting out the essence of what I'm trying to communicate? As you go through this video, feel free to pause and rewind the video so you can capture the essential information. Investors are busy people, so the first few moments of your presentation are very important. You must grab their attention, get right to the point, and make sure that your ideas are both clear, that is, easily understood, and concise, brief but complete. To achieve this, I recommend that you write out your presentation. Then practice it, first by yourself and then in front of others. Practice a lot and then refine until you're able to do each of the different versions that we've spoken about. This is a summary of the presentation. It will have these 4 parts. An introduction, where you must seize their attention with your sizzle. Your business concept that shows this is a real business with real customers. Your operations summary, which shows how your plan works operationally. And finally, the finance portion, which shows that you will make money and that investors will receive a return. Let me take a moment and explain how to read these slides. The text in black is either an example phrase or a question that you will be answering, and the text in the red is instructional to help you complete this task. So, now for the introduction. During your introduction, people will decide if they like you, if they want to hear more. It will make or break your presentation. So, here we have some examples. You could begin with, in the next 5 minutes, you want to tell the listener how long you want their attention. And then you could continue, I'm going to tell you about a great new way to, and then you would insert what you wanted to say here. So you want to say something in the very beginning that's going to grab the audience attention or the investor's attention. So let's imagine you're a mushroom farmer. A mushroom farmer might say, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you how to turn mushrooms into gold. Or someone who is an entrepreneur that has a clinic might say, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how I will revolutionize the medical care in our city. Or if someone had a alternative energy solution where they were turning garbage into electrical power, they might say, in the next 5 minutes, I want to demonstrate to you how you can succeed by investing in trash. Each of these statements are designed to grab people's attention. And then you want to invite them to participate. You want to be very specific about why you're making this presentation. I want to invite you to participate in this opportunity by, and then you would explain that. The next thing you want to do is share the business concept. The business concept is the part of the presentation where you show that you have a real business. A real business is this. I have a specific product, notice the word specific, a specific product that specific people will buy because I will do specific things. That's how you will sell to them. I'm going to repeat myself. The business concept is a real business when you can say, I have a specific product that specific people will buy because I'm going to do specific things, a specific product. Tell us about your product or service. Specific people will buy it. Tell us who your target customer is. And then tell us how you're going to sell. what you're going to do to connect with them. And you know, you need to tell us why it's needed. Why is this product needed? What need are you meeting? What problem are you solving with your product? And so this is also the part of the presentation where you're going to tell us how you're going to compete. Why are people going to buy this product or service from you and not from your competitors? Now we talk about the operations plan. The operations plan is where you show that you have the right know-how, the right team, and the right processes to make this business work. We have a saying, the proof is in the pudding. It simply means that one of the best ways to show that your operations plan will work is if it's already working. You have an operational business and it's succeeding and you've proven the concept. But short of that, you must have a well thought out plan. So here you see, how will you make it work? You tell us how that you're going to overcome obstacles. How will you meet the need in a way that creates value? How will you get started? Tell us why this business is a fit for you and your abilities, or you and your team. And tell us about any systems that we need to know that you've developed that will help this business to make sense to us, the investor. Finally, you're going to share the financial plan, and this is where you're going to prove that this is a money-making business. This business will make money or is making money, and if I, the investor, invest in you, I'm going to make money as well. That's very important. Will you have enough sales? You know, tell us how you're projecting sales and the kind of sales you're projecting. Do you have strong margins? How are you going to keep your overhead or your fixed costs low? How much capital are you going to need for this business? Those are all parts of the financial plan. And don't forget to include in this section the benefit to me, the investor. If I'm investing in your business, how long is it going to take for me to recoup my investment? And then what kind of return on investment am I going to make on top of the initial investment that I put into your business? These things are very, very important. Now, you will not have the time in this brief presentation to support or back up everything you say, but you should be able to support everything. You should be able to back up everything with evidence, with proof. And even if you don't have time to present all the evidence in the presentation itself, you should have this documentation available immediately upon request, so that when you've finished your initial presentation and investors have follow-up questions, you're able to back up the things that you say by showing them proof. And so these are some of the things, if you look at this slide, these are examples of what we mean by being able to back things up. You say this will make money. Why? How can you demonstrate that you have competitive advantage? You say you're going to compete. Is it just because you would like to compete with your competitors, or is it because you actually have an advantage that you can show us? So in each one of these things, take a moment and look at this slide and make sure that you can answer these questions, but not only the questions here, these kinds of questions for every part of your presentation. Now, what other documentation should you have with you? Well, here's a list of things that you should bring with you in an investor packet or an offering packet that you could provide if you were requested to provide any of this documentation. Your business registration certificate. In fact, all your organizing documents, your bylaws, your articles of incorporation, your tax identification records, those kinds of things. You should have copies of each of these things so that you can show them to people. You should also have your recent financials, your income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Now, there will be a link in the description below where you can look at some other videos that explain some of these financials if you don't understand them yourself. You also want to have a financial summary sheet, and I'm going to explain that in just a moment. And in addition to this financial summary sheet, you're going to want to have your capitalization needs summary. This is another document that shows the capital needs, how you want to use the money, that kind of thing. And I'll give some explanation on both of these items. financial summary sheet. What is the financial summary sheet? Again, this is a sheet that shows that at a glance the financial summary of your business. It should show your capital structure. What is your capital structure? Well, it's where you got your capital from and how much of it is debt and how much of it is equity in percentage terms. You also want to have your cash on hand. These are your bank balances, the actual cash that you have available in the business right now. It's also good to have a 12-month sales record showing your unit sales by month or by quarter for the last year. Additionally, you should have a breakdown of your unit economics. To do your unit economics, you first of all need to know what your basic sales unit is. You know, if someone was selling eggs, obviously the sales unit is the egg. But if they're a barber, the sales unit might be one haircut. If they're a home builder, the sales unit might be one home that they would build. A consultant, their sales unit might be hourly or it might be per contract. And so again, you start with your sales unit and then you calculate the direct cost of providing that unit. These are the variable cost or the direct cost per unit. You need to know the sales price per unit, and once you know those, you can calculate the unit margin by simply subtracting the cost per unit from the price per unit, giving you a unit margin. Those unit economics should be very clear and they should be stated on this sheet. You should also have a simplified operating cost. The way you come up with this is, you might have 20 expenses in your business, but it's likely that you'll have 4 to 6 operating expenses that are the major line items that make up 80 to 90% of your total operating expenses. Well, go ahead and list those by amount for an average month, and then put the rest of the line items under something like other, so that there's a summary version of your operating cost. Also, we suggest having a monthly operating margin. This is some data you'll get from your income statement, and it's the margin after operating expenses and not including things like interest expense, taxes, depreciation, or amortization. So we want your monthly operating margin as well. Now, we also would like you to have a capitalization needs summary. This is important information that any investor is going to want to know. The total new capital that you're seeking. How much money do you need? And how then are you going to use that money, that capital? What is the use of capital going to be? List the things that you're going to do with that capital. You're going to buy equipment, you're going to buy land, you're going to use it for working capital, you're going to use it for more marketing. List the things you're going to use that capital for. And then do a pre-money valuation. Now let me explain briefly what a pre-money valuation is. Well, this is only comes into play when we're talking about equity and equity investment. But let's say you want to sell 25% of your company to someone for $1 million. Well, if you're saying I'm going to sell you 25% of my company for $1 million, then you're also saying that the other 75% is worth $3 million. You're assigning a value to your company before new money comes in, before a new investment, and that's the pre-money. So the pre-money in this case would be $3 million. Well, how do you calculate that? It's easy to do with these nice round figures like $1 million and 25%, but this is how that calculation is performed. To calculate pre-money, you must first calculate the post-money valuation, or the valuation after investment. So this is how you would do that. Post-money valuation is equal to the amount of the new investment divided by the percentage of the company being offered. So in this case, we're offering 25%. So we take the amount of the new investment, we're $1 million, divided by 25% gives us $4 million. So that's the post-money valuation. The value of the company after this investment will be $4 million. And to come up with the pre-money valuation, we simply deduct the new money from the post-money valuation. So $4 million is the post-money valuation minus $1 million gives us a pre-money valuation of $3 million. Now the reason this is important is because an equity investor will not invest in a company if he or she does not agree with the pre-money valuation. If that valuation isn't valid, they'll say, no, you're saying that your company is worth $3 million, but I don't see anything here worth $3 million. You're not offering enough of the company, or you're asking for too much money. And so that's why this is very important for you to have this calculation. Now, finally, we have the justification of the offering or the deal summary. And this is where you would essentially say, this is what I'm offering. This is why I'm offering it. And I believe this is why this is a good deal. And so you're summarizing that here. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope it helps you to put together not only your quick presentation, your 5-minute presentation, your 10-minute presentation, your elevator pitch, but it also helps you put together that packet of information that an investor might ask for after they've heard your presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Look forward to seeing you at the expo.